mandala offering. The ground sprinkled with perfume is spread with flowers. The great mountain, four lands, sun and moon, seen as a Buddha land and offered thus, may all beings enjoy such pure lands. The objects of greed, confusion, hatred, friend, stranger, and foe, are wealth and bodies gladly offered. Please accept these and bless us to be free from the three poisons. Idam Guru Ratna Mandalakam Niryatayame. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, compassion, knowledge, and strength, the Dharma, the enlightened side of truth, and the song of the community of realized beings. From the virtuous merit I create from the practice of giving with the understanding of emptiness, moral discipline with the understanding of emptiness, patience with the understanding of emptiness, joyous effort with the understanding of emptiness, concentration and wisdom, may I attain the state of a Buddha for the benefit of all living beings. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, compassion, knowledge, and strength, the Dharma, the enlightened side of truth, and the Sangha, the community of realized beings. From the virtuous merit I create from the practice of giving with the understanding of emptiness, moral discipline with the understanding of emptiness, patience with the understanding of emptiness, joyous effort with the understanding of emptiness, concentration and wisdom, may I attain the state of a Buddha for the benefit of all living beings. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, compassion, knowledge, and strength, the Dharma, the enlightened side of truth, and the Sangha, the community of realized beings. From the virtuous merit I create from the practice of giving with the understanding of emptiness, moral discipline with the understanding of emptiness, patience with the understanding of emptiness, joyous effort with the understanding of emptiness, concentration and wisdom, I will attain the state of a Buddha for the benefit of all living beings. Okay. First of all, I've got to explain what may look like a little bit of confusion on my part. I have set up 4 monitors. I have my laptop and 3 external monitors. So this looks like something out of NASA or the CIA. I have so much stuff on these screens, I have trouble keeping track of it. So if I'm looking off to the left or right, that's because I'm trying to figure out what's on what screen. But it's massively fun. So, okay. So we overheard a conversation earlier today about who did or did not want to start with the assignment. So Natalia, you're up first. Or do we want to do general rejoicing first, and then we'll do that? Let's do general rejoicing first. So you're up first anyway. What do you have to rejoice in general?
Okay. So very interesting. This week, I had several instances of when I think of something and then somebody starts to talk about the same thing without me trying to tell them or ask them or anything, which is very magical, like a confirmation from outside. I love it.
Wow. You're showing, your colors are showing through. You're not who you appear to be.
Okay, be cool.
Well, that's very interesting. Then the minute you start to get used to it, then it'll stop happening. But that'll be fun to play with a little bit. It's almost like knowing what they're thinking, but you're at least anticipating what they're going to say. Okay, who's next? Jackie.
Hello, dearest friends and dearest Lama Samati. I rejoice for the warmth in my heart to be able to be there to listen to someone that needed support, to be able to try to practice the skills of listening more, to be able to offer advice and care and kindness, and to help to make a difference in someone's life and to help them to change and move in a new direction, and to receive some gratitude from that. How what I've shared with them so far has been really helpful, and that they wish to see now that they can be more kind to others as well, that I've inspired them. So it's really a beautiful thing. And all the teaching that we have has allowed me to become that person to be able to assist.
I tell you, when you see your practice grow in somebody else and inspire them, that's better than any money or anything like that. It's my greatest joy is when I see my students doing what I'm teaching them. And so very good for you. That's got to be very satisfying. Okay, Gak-Cha, you're up next.
My rejoice is that I help a friend with her taxes. It's the annual taxes, so I help her to do it, and so she can present it at time.
Are you an accountant?
Yes, I'm an accountant.
Oh, you're an accountant. Oh, how interesting. Oh, I've got a question for you. Do you know where the term spreadsheet came from?
Yeah, you told us.
I told you that already?
Yeah.
Oh, that's no fun.
But I
That's no
don't
fun.
remember.
That's no fun. I was going to ask you to tell me, but you're going to tell me what I told you. Well, so much for that. But thank you for helping her. That's setting the seeds for you to have the help when you have something you don't want to do or it's difficult to do. You'll be setting the seeds to have that ripen for you. So that's very smart, very smart. Okay, Sheila, were you the person who she helped the taxes with?
No,
Oh,
I'm not.
okay.
Hi, everybody. I rejoice that yesterday my sister and I went to buy a little surprise for you and for Lama Sarani.
Tell me what it is.
Banana. It's a surprise.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. I'm
Yes.
really looking forward to meeting you, but you haven't been where I've been before. No, I would remember you guys. So,
In October, we went on October, last October, we went
yeah,
to the mountain and Lama Sarani present me to you. In the
well,
night, in the
Fire ceremony.
in the fire ceremony.
oh, yeah, I was pretty cold. Yeah,
Yes.
good. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing you again and being a little warmer. That'll be fun. Okay, Svetlana, you're up.
Oh, hello everyone. I'd like to rejoice that I was thinking how to gift a coffee cup to my colleague, and then one day she told that she received a free coffee cup and she was so happy. And I was thinking that it's nice idea for her. So then the next day we met each other at the elevator and I asked her what does she prefer. And then I gifted her a cup of coffee the next morning. So I'd like to rejoice in such a gift that to give a cup of coffee to another person, and not grasping it for yourself first. And it was such a coincidence that it was initially in my thought, and then I was hearing that she likes it, and then I did it. So it was like resembled me, your example, Lama Sumati, like, but he cheated as a thought, and then but he cheated as an action. So, and I would like to rejoice that I was managed to make it happen.
Very good. Good example. Everybody's talking about coffee these days. Nobody's talking about tea. That's okay. I like coffee. I don't particularly care for it. Well, it's not that I don't like tea. I just like coffee more. And the only reason Tibetans drink tea is because they didn't have coffee. If they'd known about coffee back in the day, they'd be drinking coffee instead of tea. But that's another point. Okay. Pei Ling, do you have something you can rejoice in?
Yes, rejoice is very important. I want to rejoice in these few days. I practice karma and emptiness, I catch the Gak-Cha. I catch Gak-Cha in my mind. So I rejoice for it.
Okay, well, that's practicing what we're teaching. That's all I can ask for. Ala, do you have something to rejoice in?
Да, здравствуйте.
Yes,
А,
hello everyone.
Я боролась с ментальными
I was
омрачениями.
fighting with mental
Хотела
afflictions, and even today I wanted
сделать своей практикой
uh,
первое
do my
место отдать
practice
другого
as a
добра.
priority another person to give it to them, but I didn't do it.
Ну, и с людьми я не общалась,
I didn't communicate with people, and
ничего сегодня не
I
дала.
didn't do it. I didn't give anything, but I set such intention and I rejoice about it.
Присутствую на этом занятии
And now I'm in this class
и просто живу.
and just living,
И у меня есть возможность бороться с ментальными омрачениями.
and I have an opportunity to fight with my mental afflictions.
That's the only fight that you should have, is fighting your mental afflictions. You never fight with somebody else, although maybe they're a reflection of your mental affliction. The other thing is, the picture I see of you on my screen, you're not smiling.
Да.
Yes,
Well, I just say, I think it'd be nice to see you smile. Anyway, that's, I guess, just being silly. Okay, what am I going to rejoice in? Is Ala done? There you are. There
Я
you
вот-
are. Oh, hi.
Извините,
Nice
да, да, здравствуйте.
I'm sorry. Hello.
There you go. Thank you. That's a very nice smile. I'm glad to see you happy.
Спасибо, извините за... Спасибо.
Okay, so what do I have to rejoice in? Well, the book is finally in the process of being put together and produced. All the corrections have been made, and I had an opportunity to write a very large article for another journal, and this is the biggest article he's ever put in his journal. And he's so pleased with my writing, he wanted to do that. So after looking through a 170 page document to proofread it, I thought I wouldn't catch anything in this last article he sent me, but it's only 30 pages. And I caught 3 or 4 things that were very subtle errors, but I caught them. They were like standing out to me, like flashing almost. So I'm glad to see my attention to detail is ripening even better, and that I'm having even more attention to detail for other things that I'm doing. So I rejoice in that. I rejoice in my lovely wife had a very nice birthday, and very nice birthday. And I guess that's about it. Okay, so now on to the big event. Who's going to be first? Oh, Natalia volunteered. Well, Jackie's having a little too much fun. I think Jackie should start. Okay, Jackie, you're on.
Let's begin closing our eyes and just counting our 10 breaths to bring ourselves into focus. resolving our day earlier and returning later to our to-do list. Relax your jaw, soften your eyes, bring your shoulders to level position. Keep your chin parallel to the floor and your feet anchored if you're in a sitting position in the chair. Your hands may be facing upwards or downwards, whatever feels comfy for you. Yep, it's day 2 and you're still at that application. Simply deeply excited about reaching your heart's greater potential to achieve your ultimate job or position. You know, the one that opens your joyful heart. You're staring at the screen again, reading the answers to the questions in the form. Can I write this better? What will they think of this answer? Sitting in the chair, you realize I've been here for hours and I'm still here adjusting and editing my answers to these 7 questions. You feel like you're anchored to your desk, glued to the screen, typing away frantically, hitting the delete and still cutting and pasting from your jumbled brainstorming answers. Your mind is determined. I just need to. It's flowing in repeated cycles like a Ferris wheel. You know by now that after this long sit, that you just need to take time off from this task. Your hands and feet are turning to ice. The agitation and anxiety is still building. Now let's go look for the gotcha in the scene, where our body is feeling the tension and the thing that does not come from me appears as self-existence. Where is the gotcha? Then in comes your interrupting family member who's gently speaking to you. It's time to share our walk together, but I just need more time to finish this question. Please, you reply, feeling agitated that they are interrupting your flow. Let's play out a new scene. Just replay over this scene, being caught up in that application that still needs to be perfect. How might you handle this situation to the attachment of the application? Your gotcha. To stop yourself and take a break. How might you act with wisdom, more peacefully, to remove your grip on the self-existent application out there and your response to being more kind towards your interrupting family member while being kinder towards yourself? Just sit with this for a moment. Now gently come back to 3 nourishing breaths. Inhaling and exhaling. Just gently start to come back into the room. Open your eyes and just feel the freshness and the beauty and the joy that's always around us. And reminding us that the choices we make and how we see our world is completely up to us, our responsibility.
Very nice, very nice. That's a great example of, and your response to the family member. That's very good, very good. Okay, who's next? Natalia, you're up.
Okay. Thank you, Jackie. Thank you, Lama Samad. Okay. So you're ready.
I'm ready.
Alrighty. Okay. Close your eyes and strengthen your spine. And deep breathe for a few breaths. And now imagine a chocolate. I used to love chocolate, and I know there are many people who also like chocolate. And before, I can eat chocolate every day and enjoy it. Do you like chocolate? And once later, I am not able to eat chocolate anymore because it is causing a lot of problems in my body. So I tried different kinds of chocolates. And no matter what kind I try, it still creates problems in my body. So do you think the problem is the chocolate? A lot of people enjoy chocolate and it is not causing problems in their body. Then what is the problem? What is causing problems for me? And I remembered in the past, I was restricting my kids from eating candy and chocolates. And went to the school to ask not to give any candy to the kids on Halloween. or Valentine. And I also make remarks to my husband who loves to eat chocolate all the time. And so maybe that is why I cannot eat chocolate anymore. What do you think? And you can slowly open your eyes and come back.
Wow. Can't do chocolate anymore. Well,
Disaster.
that's got its good and bad qualities. But you have an interesting take. We have the how and the why. And the why you can't eat chocolate is because it doesn't interact with your body comfortably anymore. But the why, that's the key.
And it's not the chocolate.
And it's not the chocolate. It's manifested in the chocolate, sort of, but it could be manifested in anything. So it has nothing to do with chocolate per se. It has everything to do with stopping someone from having something that they enjoy.
Mhm.
And it could be from doing that in this life. It could be, although most people teach that it can't be because karma doesn't ripen that quickly. But I personally can't tell when karma is going to ripen. So I take things in this life to be happening due to karma from this life. And I don't worry about whether it's only bad stuff happening or it's good stuff. As one of my students said this morning from Malaysia, he's burning off by having anger happen and not responding to it. He's burning off that karma for having anger because the seed ripened. He didn't respond. It didn't get replanted, and so that's purified. So in your case, by not being mad or angry about not being able to eat chocolate and not, I didn't get the impression you've told your husband he can't have any chocolate.
No,
He has to not eat it in front of you.
no, that's okay. I am not bothered anymore. But thank you for mentioning this. I'm gonna remember that I'm burning some seeds, bad
Yeah,
seeds.
that's something we don't. This student this morning reminded me of that because, as Lama Christie told me with the purification and not being mad at my Parkinson's, I'm burning off those seeds, and that's extremely powerful karma. So,
Good.
so
Thank
very good. Okay, another good one. I'm impressed. You guys are pretty sharp. Okay, Katya. Well, no, let's go with Sheila because she thinks I saw that look. Okay, Sheila, you're first.
Okay, let's go. Close your eyes and watch your breath. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. nothing else in this universe, only your breath. Watch your breath. And imagine this scene. Yesterday morning, when you tried to open your car to go for a friend, for a walk, it didn't open. Inside your car was your cell phone, your keys of the house, and your wallet. Thinking that the key didn't work because the battery ran out, you hit and hit the key to see if you could make it work. That is the Gak-Cha. Hitting and hitting your key to make it work and be able to open your car to go for your friend. The Gak-Cha is also believing that because you have a car, you can get around wherever you want and whenever you want. So the key that doesn't work, that exists, is the one that is the result of having denied someone accessing where they want or prevent someone from going to the place they wanted to go. So you stop hitting the key and walk to a friend's house, and he took you to your dad's house to take the duplicate, and you can open the car. With this, you was able to recognize that in the past, you have helped someone to get what they want. And you rejoice for that. Watch your breath and come back.
Very good. That's a great example because we can all relate to all these examples so far. No pressure, Gak-Cha. But no, that's a great example because when you turn the key in your car, you just assume it's going to start because the key starts the car.
Yes.
But it doesn't. It's your karma. That's the hardest thing to remember. And that's just the car turning on the electricity to your stove if you have, or the gas to your gas stove, turning the knob. That's what starts the electricity flowing. Yes, that's the how, but that's not the why. And the two are inexorably connected. You can't have the one without the other. So good. So you locked your keys in your car?
What?
Did you lock your keys in your car? Or is this a hypothetical example?
No, I don't understand. Sorry, I don't hear you.
You said you locked did you actually lock your keys in your car?
No, the battery goes
No,
off.
Oh, the battery.
Yes.
Okay.
I in half an hour before half an hour before, I use the key and I open the car and I put in the car my wallet and my cell phone and the keys of my house, and then I close the car and go run run, 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 run,
Mm-hmm.
run. And when I return, I can use the key. The key doesn't function.
Oh, the key fob. Oh,
Yes.
oh, I see.
Aha.
Wow. Yeah,
So
ouch.
I hit and hit the key, and I remember Gak-Cha.
Yeah.
And then I went to a friend's house
Uh,
for a duplicate.
wow.
Yes.
Yeah. Very interesting.
Yes, very, very, because 1 hour before the keys function,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then no.
So how else to explain that but karma?
Yes,
Yeah.
totally.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I'm gonna have to use that. I have to use all these as examples. These are great. Okay. Okay, Katya, you're up.
Okay. So let's close your eyes. Let's count 10 breaths. Let's start with the exhale and then the inhale. And let's go until 10 breaths. Okay, so I had a conversation with a friend about what bothers us about each other. My friend tells me that he don't like my sarcasm, humor, and the ironic way I correct him sometimes. When I was listening to him, I realized that I am not self-existent. The Katya that he perceives comes from the times that he has been like that with other people. I also realize that the Katya I perceive he is referring to comes from the times I have been that way with other people. I planted the seed in the past, and that is why now I hear that from myself. My response is to listen and not react. I stop the sarcasm that I could use at that moment. When I express that what bothers me about him, I tell him that he is easily distracted and stops paying attention to me. Then I realize the times when I lost my focus with my cell phone and I stopped paying attention to other people. I see how that characteristic that bothers me comes from me. I stop and make no further observations because I see that my friend is a projection of my bad habit of being easily distracted and how that harms my meditation as well. Now you can open your eyes.
Nice. Nice. That's another, these are all great examples, personal practice examples, which is exactly what I was hoping to find. Okay, Svetlana.
Oh, yes. Here we go. Yeah, please take a comfortable position. Close your eyes and let's make 10 breaths. Exhale, inhale. Imagine that after the long working day, you are returning home and meeting your family member. And you are having a cup of tea with them, and you are wishing to hear some sweet and nice support from them. But instead of that, they are starting to criticize you. They are starting to tell you those qualities which you understand that are not developed very well. And they are telling you that you are not confident, you are not behaving in some way which is supposed to be. And you're just listening to this criticism, and even your anger is starting to grow inside of you, and you are feeling quite desperate. You are trying not to react in any negative way by speech, not to express any bad words or some reaction in return. So then you are sleeping and trying to remember about those tasks to contemplate about Gak-Cha. Maybe this family member is not self-existent, and there is no such a family member who is self-existently criticizing you, attacking you by telling you that you are not enough, you are behaving in some wrong ways. Maybe it's coming from your past seeds of being not satisfied with other people and criticizing them, and maybe even just having some small thoughts about that these people are not good enough. So the next day you are waking up and thinking, well, at least I have my job, and a job they like me. But as you were a little bit upset, you coming to your job a little bit late. And just at this morning, your boss from another country is calling to you, and you are late. You are late for 20 minutes, and your boss was trying to find you. And then there is such a business call where your boss is not satisfied with your job and telling what was had to do in a different way, that you needed to do it in other way. And your colleagues are giving examples how it should have been done in another way. And you're just listening calmly and replying that it's okay, I will do it this way. That is nice idea. Thank you. I will do it. Because you are remembering there are no self-existent colleagues who are criticizing you and who are telling you that you should do it in another way. It's just returning of your past seeds of being dissatisfied with other people and telling them that they should be behaving another way or doing something in another way, not in a positive way, expressing such ideas. And then this call is ended, and you are trying to be calm. And then you are receiving a message from your family member with good morning wishes and sweet words that you are a magnificent person. And then your colleagues are all, suggesting to have a Japanese tea together, and you're enjoying time together and having joyful conversation. all day long. And what was seemed as a disaster in the beginning became just something which lasts not so long time, because you could prevent to replenish those seeds. Take 3 long breaths, exhale, inhale, and then softly open your eyes and come back.
Oh, another great example, because that's the kind of thing that's so easy. A personal attack or something, not so much an attack, but personal observations. Are the ones we tend to think it's my karma, but, and you really, really, really have to catch yourself and say, it's not my karma, but it's my karma. So you have to do that. And if you can just begin to do that as the first step, that's a huge first step. So very good. Okay. Ala, do you have an example for us?
А какой конкретно пример? О чем мы говорим?
What, as a concrete example, what are we talking about?
Oh, the Gak-Cha. There's an example in your life of the Gak-Cha.
Мгм. Да, есть.
Yes, I have.
Okay, please share with us.
As I understand, it should be as a meditation.
Yeah.
Хорошо. Тогда закройте, пожалуйста, глаза.
Then please close your eyes
Вдохов и выдохов.
and make several breaths. Exhale, inhale.
И когда я была маленькая,
And when I was a child, I had constantly negative emotions.
постоянно что-то не нравилось.
I didn't like
И
constantly
я думала,
something,
что мне не нравится,
and
это
I was thinking that
существующее.
I didn't like is self-existent.
И от этого каждый раз за
And
разом
because of that,
были
from time to time,
более
by
сильные
I
привычки,
had stronger and stronger habits
отрицательные
to
эмоции.
feel negative emotions.
И чем старше я становилась,
And as
тем
elder I
эти
was
привычки
becoming,
становились
those
сильнее.
habits were becoming stronger.
И только когда я узнала
And only
о
when I got to
пустоте
know
вещей,
about emptiness of things,
все вещи пусты на
that all
100%,
things are
а на
empty for
99%
100%, but
являются
not
результатом.
99%, and they are
Поток кощунства,
results of
который
seed stream
не
which
имеет
don't
самосуществования,
have
который является
self-existence,
результатом
which
моей
are results
кармы,
of my karma.
я стала их
I
останавливать,
became
эти
stopping
привычки,
them,
потому
these
что
habits,
привычка гневаться
because
каждые
an habit of
секунды
anger,
этой привычки,
every second
она
of such an habit,
новое
plant
семя гнева.
new
И
seed
тогда
of
чем
anger.
больше этих семян,
And
тем
then as
сильнее,
many
тем сложнее
as more those seeds,
эту
it
привычку.
is more difficult to stop this habit.
И я поняла, что
And I
эта
understood
привычка испытывать
that this habit
отрицательные
to
эмоции
feel
в
negative
отношении
emotions
вещей, которые любых вещей,
about
если даже
things, anything.
я ни с кем не общаюсь,
Even
я все
I
равно
don't
нахожу
communicate with anyone,
то, что мне
I
не
am finding
нравится,
something that I don't
даже
like.
когда все абсолютно хорошо.
Even everything is all right.
И это гакча.
And that is Gak-Cha.
То, что мне кажется, что вещи
It seems that things
самосуществующие.
are self-existent.
И чем больше я
And as more I'm
останавливаю
stopping this
видеть
habit
вещи
to perceive
самосуществующими,
things as self-existent,
тем легче мне
then it's easier for me
останавливать
to stop the stream of negative emotions. And it is fight for which we are living for. And that is important, I think. Thank you so much, and you can open your eyes.
Excellent.
Sorry that it was spontaneous.
No, that's fine. It's, well, the theme, well, let's do Pei Ling. Do you have one, Pei Ling?
Oh, okay, teacher. Take a comfortable seat. Relax your shoulder. Straight your spine a little bit. Watch your breath. Inhale and exhale for 10 breaths. Now put your Lama atop on your head and invite your Lama to teach you. In the past 24 hours, what mental affliction that you experienced? Try to recall what emotions that affected your minds. They are not real. They are Gak-Cha. Which is the things that affected you has no self-existence at all. Recall the negative emotion that you experienced in the past 24 hours. And put your stand that nobody outside that made you angry, made you irritated, made you disappointed, and nothing outside that can make you have any emotion of this. The emotion that you experience, whether positive or negative emotion, is all come from you. Where you did to others in the past. In the night, I see my family member using handphone, watching video for many hours. I feel frustrated, irritated, and feel like, oh, somebody spend their life meaningless. They're wasting their life and no purpose, and find no purpose in this life. where this feeling come from. The handphone, the handphone doesn't make me feel this. My family does not the one that make me feel this. I by 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 remember the grace from my teacher that taught me things have no self-existence at all. All I see is come from my seed. I thank to the grace from my teacher that taught me many, many times. And now I go back to myself. I bring this problem to my Lama at top of my head and ask teaching. And in these few days, I watch again the video that teach how to meditate. And I train myself meditate. And so that I can quickly find the meaning in this life and vision and have my vision in this life. I thank you to my teacher. They told me about Gak-Cha, that nobody outside that make any feeling to me, and nothing in this world that bring feeling to me. It's all come and ripen from my seed. So that everything that I see in my life, I bring to my heart Lama and ask what message that this thing, what message this person bring to me. In the afternoon, I saw a person that gave me an impatient face. He showed an irritated face to me. And I know that this person has no power on me. He doesn't make me angry or make me or broken my heart. It's all come from my seed. It's all come from what I did to others in the past. So I quickly put my stand there. This person is my friend, not my enemy. He came to my life to tell me the message. And he helped me to ripen out a bad seed. So I thanks to this person very much. Now, do a long exhale 3 times. And slowly open your eyes.
Oh, very good.
Very good.
You guys, you all have a grasp of the Gak-Cha now. Now the key is to remember. So this is an assignment, but it's now something you'll do for life. You're going to be looking every time something happens, every time you eat, you sleep, you get in and out of a car, you lock your car, your cell phone works or doesn't work. We always assume things are going to work. Now, when I get on an airplane, I don't think the plane's going to crash, but it could. When I drove my truck, I didn't think I was going to roll my truck, but I did. So the important thing is to have this so ensconced in your mind that you don't react ignorantly, you react with wisdom. Now, it's going to be hard because we're all so used to thinking things are self-existent. So we tend to react and then catch ourselves. That's okay. What you're trying to do is catch yourself sooner and sooner before you set a seed for anger. I still have a problem with anger and frustration of getting dressed and not being able to grip things with my hands. I mean, I can grip something, but I can't hold it. If I try and take a plate of food over to our dinner table, I have to be very careful to get over there pretty quickly because it tends to start to droop and all the food's going to fall off it. So I don't get frustrated with air. I get frustrated getting dressed and not being able like to put on a coat. I have trouble getting my left arm around because I don't have something called proprioception. That's knowing where your hand is, or your foot, or your elbow, or your knee. And if you don't know where your arm is, it's hard to put the arm in the sleeve of the coat. So then I asked my wife to, and I feel pretty stupid if I have to ask my wife to put on a coat. But I remember where it's coming from. It's coming from me. So if I don't get angry, if I ask for her help, it's because, and she gives it to me, it's because I've asked for help in the past. I thank her for her help, and that's setting the seeds for me to get help in the future. And it all just keeps rolling along. And as the circle should get bigger, actually. It's rolling into bigger and bigger ball of karma. So the whole point of the exercise was to catch ourselves like I caught myself on that walk with my wife. I just can't explain how important the Gak-Cha is. And that's why Geshe spent quite a bit of time in this particular teaching talking about the Nick that was accused of stealing something, the fictional Nick. That Nick that was accused and didn't deserve it doesn't exist. Just that simple. The Nick that exists, there is a Nick, and he does exist out there. But anything that happens to Nick, anything that happens to me or to you is coming from your seeds and you deserve it. It's your fault. Now, what's the opposite of it being your fault? If that says something negative is going to happen. What's a good word? What's a good word for if it's a good thing? It's your fault if something bad happens. It's your, not advantage. It's your pleasure. No.
Good luck.
Good luck. Well, no, I don't think luck. I'm going to take advantage of one of my many screens here. And I'm going to try and opposite of fault. Opposite of fault. What is the opposite of fault? Strength, advantage, attribute, merit, upside, benefit, good, credit, virtue. It's interesting, virtue and merit appeared in that list. I find that very interesting. So, well, okay. In Spanish, what's the opposite of fault? It's not an easy question. I can't think of it in English. The opposite of fault. Jackie, can you help me? Do you have any idea what the opposite of fault would be in English?
Fault.
Words
It-
that come to mind might be success or responsibility.
No, success. That's nice because fault usually means you didn't achieve what you wanted. It's my fault things didn't go well, but it's my
Fortune,
fortune. I don't know.
joy.
Well, I have something to look up. I will make a note here. That's my homework. I'm going to come up. I tell you what, we need a little homework assignment, so let's do that. I'd like you each to try and find a word that's opposite of fault. Don't look so stressed, ladies. It's okay. You look so stressed. It's all right. I'm not trying to make it hard on you. Fault. Okay. I'm going to look up fault. Okay. Well, I think I keep putting off doing the poster because I'm not really thrilled with the idea of doing that. But I promise you, now next week, let's see, I'm confusing one. Next week, Geshe-la's not starting class. He starts at the end of next week. So we'll be taking, I don't know what his teaching schedule is. So we'll have class on Tuesday, but I don't know if he's going to be teaching in the afternoon or not. I'll find out by Tuesday, and we'll find out whether we can still have class because I should not teach while he's teaching. So, okay, let's dedicate class for today. May the source of benefit and goodness, the Dharma, spread and expand. May the beings upholding the Dharma have excellent health. May the source of happiness and well-being for all embodied beings, the Dharma taught by the Buddhas, always increase. May the precious Bodhi mind not yet born arise and grow. May that born have no decline, but increase forevermore. Thank you for you guys did really well. I'm very proud of you. You can all make excellent teachers.
Thank you.
Lama Sumati.
Yes, ma'am.
Boss, can I ask you a question?
Well, I don't know. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, my big boss. I would like to ask, can I share this Gak-Cha homework in Gussie Michael Mishnah translation class? Because we learn about emptiness, Gak-Cha in many classes, and then there is a 15 minutes discussion session. So I wish that your hard work and goodness can help more people. So I would like to help you to help more people by sharing this homework and how we practice Gak-Cha in our daily life.
So
May I?
you want to share what you said or what everybody else said?
I say, so I just let them know how to do this practice, observe our Gak-Cha in our daily life.
Yes, that's fine. But
So they can practice
yeah,
how to catch Gak-Cha.
okay, here's what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to say, we had a homework assignment in class. You don't have to use my name because I don't want
to use your name.
I don't want credit for any of this. It's all Geshe Michael. So, well, if you want to use my name, you can. But sure,
What is your opinion?
I think that would be very sweet to do that because it's just exactly the idea of doing this all the time because we tend to say the words, though that wasn't self-existent, but then we blow right by it instead of saying, not only is that not self-existent, I need to remember that I'm purifying or I'm setting seeds. I'd rather be purifying and setting good seeds than seeing something that's self-existent and setting bad seeds. So, okay, yeah, please share it with them.
Sorry, teacher. I didn't get. I use your name
Yes,
or use
yes,
your
you
name.
can. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
If you use Sumati, they won't know who you're talking about anyway.
Perfect.
Oh, I have one other thing. I'm getting ready to release the book of lists. I'm going to do that on April 12th. So I have it in Spanish. I have it in Australian. That's a little joke, Jackie. I have it in Russian. I have it in Chinese. So I think what I'd like to do is I'd like to send you the URL now, and I'll send that to Natalie. And I'd like you to look at the website and see if it makes sense. So here's how it works. You'll bring the website up. There's going to be a row of buttons with the language on it. So pick whatever language you want and you click on it. And then there'll be numbers 1 through 10, 12 to 18, and 20 to 22. So click on one of those and up will come, like if you click on 5, all the list of 5s will appear. So I want to see if this works for you. And if it doesn't, don't tell me. I don't want to know. I'm just kidding. Of course I want to know. Okay. Okay. I'll send that to Natalia and she'll send it on. Thank you, everyone. Love
Thank
you.
you very much.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Muchas
Muchas gracias.
Thank you for
Thank
this
you.
challenge.
Bye-bye.
Bye
I
bye.
wonder, dear teacher, if you have thought about using your movies as part of your list to represent some of those Dharma movies that you think are valuable for us to look at, to capture those as well for suggestions.
No, that's an interesting idea. Oh, let me write that as my homework. I'm not going to make that's not going to qualify as a list well, might for the website, but a list of Dharma movies.
The ones that relate especially to your soundtracks that you really love.
Oh man, that's a long list. Okay. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
On
Have
to
a very
again.
beautiful afternoon.
Bye.
Thank you for teaching.
Thank you.
Bye.
Have a beautiful day, everyone. Thank you, Svetlana, for the magical classes that you bring to us. And thank you, Natalia, and to all our recording angels.
Yay, thank you so much, Jackie. Rejoicing your seats. It's thanks to you we are having these amazing and beautiful classes. It's so precious. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Please get some sleep.
Yay, yeah. Have a wonderful weekend.
Yeah, you too. Lots of love.
Yeah, lots of love.